Good evening, Heart of the Swan players. This time I have prepared a PvP match between me and the best Slovakian player Ladabaz. It was a game from a LAN tournament, so a lot was at stake and we were showing our best strategies and our best play. It also shows the new approach that is being evolved in Heart of the Swarm in this matchup. And yeah, I can say we're gonna play Stargate. So, the map is Belshir Vestige. It is a new map. It's quite a long map. So, I would say this map favors Stargate play. And it's also quite hard to blink into the main from the cliff below. So, any map that is not good for Blink Stalkers is good for Stargate. This is a general rule. So, my plan is to go for the Stargate, and I suspect my enemy is doing the same. So, this is a reason enough for opening with Phoenix and not the Oracle. Usually I don't like Oracle openings because it costs 150 gas, and in PvP when it's Stargate against Stargate, I think playing Oracle is just too big of a risk. Because when you don't kill, let's say 6 probes, you're just infinitely behind. So as you can see, I scouted my main base and my natural for possible proxy gates. I made my gateway on the 13 and then gas. I'm not gonna open with 2 gases and 2 probes in each gas. I like the old school opening with 1 gas first, then cybercore, and then the second gas. I also still favor a zealot opening, even though that it's more popular right now to open with 2 gateways, 3 stalkers, and mothership core. Because the 3 stalkers and mothership core can't see high on the cliff or your enemy, you can scout his base, you can be aggressive and so on, but still it has its downsides. For example, it delays your tech because it costs a relatively lot of gas, and also when your enemy is playing even something more risky and more rushy, you can easily lose, because when you're going across the map, you can miss some proxy pylons and so on. So the first chrono boost is going for warp gate, just to for example, if I was being scouted, I need to warp gate I need to chrono boost my warp gate just so everything looks normal. Because if you don't chrono boost your warp gate, you're already giving your opponent the information that you're not gonna rush. So just to execute my build correctly, I'm putting a first chrono boost on my warp gate, but then when the stalker is up, I don't need to boost it anymore, and I put my Stargate as soon as possible. Also 2 additional gateways, because I need 3 gateways to defend from possible 3 gate rushes, and I chrono boosted my sentry. This is something I'm experimenting with, because I found out when I don't chrono boost the sentry and when I have only zealot, stalker and sentry, and my opponent is really rushing aggressively even with a free gate and putting his pylon as close to my main as possible, usually it's almost undefendable, because the sentry that is not chrono boosted doesn't have enough mana for second force field. Right now he showed me his probe, and he quite smartly let the probe die. He sacrificed it just to kill my stalker, but still I was able to escape, so it's not so bad for me. But the significant damage was done to my stalker, so right now I'm a little bit scared, but my 3 gateways are up, so that there is no chance for him to do any damage. Since I have the sentry and possible force field, so his 3 stalkers and mothership core won't do anything. And I have a little bit an earlier Stargate, and I have a lead in workers, but only small. It's almost nothing. I like to scout my first Phoenix. Immediately as the Phoenix is up, I like to scout with him, and just to be sure that my opponent is not going for DTs or Blink Rush or early expansion. But you could see that I stopped my Phoenix for a while because I thought I could attack his Phoenix, but his additional Phoenix was just being built. So let's say that I saved my Phoenix only because of luck. The first Phoenix should have died, and I would be a little bit behind, maybe more than a little bit, because it's really important to not lose any Phoenix when you're fighting an opponent that is also making Phoenixes, because one Phoenix difference can make the difference between win and lose. Right now, after going Phoenixes, you have two possibilities: either to wait when your opponent is going for expand and then all in, or expand yourself. You can see that I'm scouting that he's not expanding and I'm doing the expand. Unfortunately, when my Nexus is not up and when I can't use Photon Overcharge, there is no chance for me to defend. So I'm gonna have to cancel my expansion. It's not such a huge deal, because I didn't really lose any army or something, and I only lost one pylon and 100 minerals for cancel, and you can see the supplies are being the same. And the unit count, well, I'm one Phoenix up. Well, not entirely, but the game is, I would say, totally even. I was a little bit ahead because of better build. I would say my build was definitely better, but I lost my lead because of the cancelling of my Nexus. Right now my opponent is going for Nexus, and I have the same option as he had a minute ago. I can either expand or all in. I think my mineral count is really high, so I'm gonna expand. I'm gonna threat him with an all-in, and I'm gonna expand meanwhile. I used a good position of the Phoenixes because he lifted up a few of my zealots, and I think I killed one Phoenix more than he did. No, well, it looks like it's still 5 against 5. I'm just a little bit ahead in my production. I'm like 1/3 of a Phoenix ahead. It's basically nothing, but still my economy is better. Even though I cancelled my Nexus, he was, from the beginning, he was preparing himself for an all-in, so he stayed on only 24 probes, and this is a really low count because, you know, if you count out the 6 from gases and 1 probe that is constructing proxy pylons and so on, it's only 18, it's only 17, 18 probes for minerals, and this is a really low count. So right now I killed one Phoenix almost for free. It's not entirely for free because I took some damage, but yeah, it was worth it. I killed one Phoenix more, and even though my Nexus is a little bit later than him, I have more probes because I was preparing myself for expansion, so I made a few probes more earlier than my Nexus was up, so I think I'm in a good situation. And the important thing is that he was scared of an all-in and he's staying defensive, and when you can harass with your Phoenixes, it's always good, because any lifted probe, any lifted unit, always a good damage. You can see he can't be on 2 places at once, and I killed, yeah, let's check that, I killed 8 workers. The unit count is 8 to 7. It's, well, it's basically even, and right now you can see I'm focusing his Phoenixes. I'm not just attacking move, and I'm focusing and shift clicking his Phoenixes, and this is the only reason I won the battle, because I think he maybe had a little bit better position and he should have won the battle, but my micro was better. I was able to focus his Phoenixes, so I'm 2 Phoenixes up. My fleet beacon is quicker, and my economy is way better because I killed 8 probes and I was already ahead. So basically right now even the supplies are almost even. That means he's ahead in the gateway units. I was really ahead with a few nice moves. And also when my crystals, aka the range of phoenixes, was quicker, I was able to kill a lot of phoenixes. And he has only 3 phoenixes, I have 7. So right now he probably cancelled his range and he's not going to make any more phoenixes because the battle is already lost. In the air battle is already lost. Right now the situation is he can kill me only on the ground. He has to go for Charge-Lot Archons, and I'm aware of the situation. So I'm putting emergency cannons and also a Nexus Photon Overcharge. And this is my only weak spot, because the Phoenixes are good, but when they are out of mana, they can't do anything. So the nice things as the crystals, the range Phoenixes, the fleet beacon, the attack upgrade. This is investation. This is an investation that maybe it's not as worth it right now. Well, obviously I had to make them to win the air battle, but right now I have to be afraid of possible ground all-in. When the Nexus Overcharge is down, I could still lose. So I have to be aware of the situation. I have to check his ground army. You can see that I made additional cannons, and I don't think this is a waste. You don't usually see defensive cannons in PvP, but in situation like this, I know I'm economically ahead, so I know I can afford it, and it's better to spend a few minerals for cannons than lose the game that you thought you were ahead. 20 supply ahead. I'm afraid of Blink Stalkers also, because when the Charge-Lots and Archons hit the front line and the Blink Stalkers blink across the army, it could be very powerful. So I need to make Immortals. Maybe you saw in some replays that after one player wins the air battle, he switches for Mass Void Rays. And yeah, Mass Void Rays are quite a useful tool in PvP, but you can easily lose to ground all-in, Charge-Lot, Archon, Blink Stalkers, because when you have like 3, 4 or Void Rays and not enough units on the ground, it's not as a good army. Void Rays are good when are they a really high count and when you can support them with some units on the ground, but you have a really big weak spot when you switching to Void Rays. When you have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 Void Rays, it's still not as good as a strong gateway army that is blinking underneath you. Right now I know I have Archons, and I made 2 additional cannons because I know I can defend my expansion without the Phoenixes, and I can send all of the Phoenixes with the gathered mana to harass, and this is deadly move because I'm basically forcing him to all in, because if he doesn't all in, he wouldn't be able to come back. I'm gonna use all of my mana to harass, and yeah, he has to all in. But I have 4 cannons up and 3 Immortals, few Archons, lot of Stalkers, Sentry, and very good position, and also maybe a possibility of Photon Overcharge. Yeah, you can see the Photon Overcharge is up. So right now basically I won the game with the harassment. Even though he has earlier 3rd base, he just doesn't have the required amount of probes, and I'm controlling the map, I'm controlling the game, I have better unit composition, I have better everything, maybe even better upgrades. So he's he's researching storms. Yeah, this is in situation when the PvP is even and you're playing against air opponent, the storm is a good weapon for defend or attack. Yeah, you should definitely make storm. This is something the players aren't used to make from Wings of Liberty. Right now the position is quite good for him because all of his Charge-Lots are attacking, and my position was a little bit worse, but still the strength of my army is just too big for him to take. And I even lifted a few of his Stalkers, and yeah, the game is over. So to sum it up, I think my opening was better. His opening was more aggressive, more you know, oh well, more aggressive. He had some map control for a while, and he could threat with an attack and so on. But I had the sentry ready. I had 3 gates in time. I scouted his base with my first Phoenix. I knew exactly what is going on. The only bad step from my side was that I took my expansion too early and I had to cancel it. But still, my economy was better, my unit composition was better. I was a little bit better with my Phoenix control, and therefore I won the battle. And the really important thing when playing Phoenix against Phoenix is who makes the range earlier. Well, it's not very good to rush the Phoenix range as quick as possible, because then you can easily die to any all-in that is coming to you. Because when you have, well, for example, 3 zealots, 4 stalkers and bunch of phoenixes with range, it's nothing against less count of phoenixes without range, but a high gateway army that can kill your nexus even with photon overcharge. So obviously you have to think, but still, when you play macro game, then the first player who makes the Phoenix range usually wins. So thanks for watching.